Welcome back to Golf Xtra. LIV Golf has long been dogged in its pursuit of top professional golf talent. This not only includes the stars that they filled out their roster with, like Dustin Johnson and Cam Smith, but even the biggest of fish, including Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. Now, with a merger between LIV and PGA on the horizon, you might think that pursuit might be coming to an end. But the reality is, it's far from over. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now, let's get right into LIV Golf and the Saudis' continued efforts to acquire the talents of Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods. It goes without saying that Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods are two of the biggest stars on any level of professional golf. Woods is arguably the greatest golfer in history, having been at the top of the game for much of the last 25 years, with 110 professional wins and 15 major championships to his name. McIlroy, meanwhile, burst onto the golf scene in the early 2010s, winning 4 major championships by the time he turned 25, and garnering a huge fan base and several key sponsorships in the process. Both Woods and McIlroy are some of the most marketable players and personalities in all sports, and as such, they are both a very desirable acquisition asset for the cash-rich LIV Golf organization. In the summer of 2022, while LIV threw gigantic offers around the golf world, McIlroy and Woods were both major targets for LIV to pull over from the PGA Tour. Immediately after the merger, McIlroy made the claim that he was never offered any money to move over to LIV Golf. However, rumors still circulate that he was offered somewhere in the $400 million range from LIV Golf back in summer 2022. So, at least this number was floated. Meanwhile, Tiger is the obvious biggest target for LIV Golf given his gigantic fan base and his continued draw as a professional golfer. Even after playing through significant injuries for the last few years, Tiger continues to be the biggest name on the course when he's playing. It's no surprise, then, that Tiger was offered a number that was mind-blowingly enormous, according to LIV CEO Greg Norman. In an interview with then Fox News host Tucker Carlson, Norman was asked about the specifics of the offer, and the answer shocked the golf world. Even with all of the preamble that we've discussed being considered, Carlson asked Norman, "I keep reading that you offered Tiger Woods $800 million, some unknown number to join LIV. Is that true?" Norman responded, "That number was out there before I became CEO, so that number's been out there, yes. And look, Tiger's a needle mover, right? So of course you got to look at the best of the best, you know? So they had originally approached Tiger before I became CEO, so yes, that number is somewhere in that neighborhood." As far as Tiger's reaction to this number, let's just say that he wasn't especially moved by the prospect of this sum of money. After all, he's made plenty of money in his career. In part, Tiger's comments about LIV Golf back in 2022 included, "The players who have chosen to go to LIV and play there, I disagree with it. I think that what they've done is they've turned their back on what has allowed them to get to this position." He also added, "I've been playing out here for a couple of decades, and I think there's a legacy to it. I still think that the tour has so much to offer, so much opportunity. I understand different viewpoints, but I believe in legacies. I believe in major championships. I believe in big events. Comparisons to historical figures of the past. There's plenty of money out there. The tour is growing, but it's just like any other sport. It's like tennis. You have to go out there and earn it. You've got to go out there and play for it. We have an opportunity to go ahead and do it. It's not just guaranteed up front." In another well-publicized interview regarding the prospect of joining up with LIV Golf, Tiger said, "I just don't see how out of 54 holes, I can understand 54 holes is almost like a mandate when you get to the senior tour. The guys are a little bit older and a little more banged up. But when you're at this young age, and some of these kids, they really are kids who have gone from amateur golf into that organization, 72-hole tests are part of it. We used to have a 36-hole playoff for major championships. That's how it used to be. 18-hole U.S. Open playoffs." Most infamously, he doubled down on his displeasure by saying, "What these players are doing for guaranteed money, what is the incentive to practice? What is the incentive to go out there and earn it in the dirt? You're just getting paid a lot of money up front and playing a few events and playing 54 holes. They're playing blaring music and having all these atmospheres that are different." However, despite Woods' and McIlroy's stated aversion to LIV Golf, the Saudi backers of LIV have remained strongly interested in including them in the future of their model of golf, especially as a framework agreement belies a potential merger with the PGA Tour. One of those attempts at including Woods and McIlroy was proposed in an April 2023 presentation by PCP Capital Partners, a group advising LIV Golf. This proposal included the idea that the two players would not only participate in LIV Golf, but they'd own their own teams. The proposal read, in part, LIV is proposing that Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods would own teams to play in at least 10 LIV events. This and the participation of other leading players is subject to further discussions. Given the comments that they previously made, though, it's hard to believe that this would actually come to fruition. This wasn't PCP Capital Partners' only idea, though. They also proposed a large-scale superstar LIV-style team global event to include PGA, LIV, and LPGA players. The 16 team captains and subsequent teams are subject to a draft on live TV. To increase Ryder Cup level of interest, this may also include the constitution of national teams. The introduction of national teams should work well as it creates real jeopardy, excitement for broadcasters and fans. The qualifying is to be held in Saudi Arabia, with the final week in Dubai. Talk about dreaming big. These proposals, when they were revealed in the course of Senate committee hearings about the potential illegality behind the merger agreement, were met with immediate derision from the golf world. While there was no direct response from McIlroy or Woods, there might not need to be, a source familiar with the negotiations quickly revealed. It's important to understand that documents released as part of the Senate hearing included proposals that PIF, LIV, or their representatives made to the PGA Tour, which were quickly rejected and never put into the framework agreement. That still begs the question, will players like McIlroy and Woods, who resisted huge amounts of money from LIV only to see them merge with their PGA Tour only months later, see any sort of restitution for their loyalty? PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan discussed this possibility not long after the announcement of the merger, saying, "Their loyalty will be rewarded. I'm going to spend every single waking hour as we move forward here. We finalize this agreement and we move into the future. That the players that have created the PGA Tour, have created this pro-competitive, legacy-driven juggernaut, that have articulated and supported the direction that we're going, I believe is going to make it better for all of our players, and loyalty, ultimately, as a leader, always needs to be rewarded." On the specifics of the agreement, he added, "How that manifests itself is something I'm going to spend a lot of time working on, and I think when we're having this conversation down the road, that's something I look forward to being more specific about." Monahan concluded his comments by saying, "As we finalize this process, I think any player that has stayed is going to realize that the money that they're going to make, the strength of this platform, all the things that we talk about are going to put them in a really strong position. They're going to win. They're going to continue to grow, and we're in a control position on their behalf as we move forward in this structure. What happens in the future of professional golf is anyone's guess. The events of the last few months have shown us that. What is certain, though, no matter what, LIV Golf seems like they will never truly give up their pursuit of Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy." Comment with your thoughts and make sure to subscribe for more content like this. We'll catch you in the next one.